Hi everyone. Is I'm audible? Hello, everyone. Let's wait for a couple of minutes, give others to join, and then we will start, today's first session for performance testing and engineering, and what, you know, we will talk about what are the things that we are going to cover it. So it's going to be the good one. Let's wait just for a couple of minutes for others to join, and then we will begin. In the meantime, if someone can confirm if I'm audible or not, it will be good for me.
Yes, you are audible.
Perfect, Raji. Thank you for the confirmation. Okay, so we will start sharp at 9:04 IST timing. Right, so it's just 1 minute from now. Right. So in the meantime, if other people will join, we'll, we will cover up the open questions if any. Otherwise, we will begin with our agenda for which we all are connected today. Okay, so yeah, uh, I can see like people are still joining, but let's begin, right? Let's begin with my quick introduction, who I am, what background I am carrying for, right? So good day, everyone. Like people are joined from a global level, like from a different location, geolocations. So good day to everyone. I'm Mohit. I'm having around like 15 plus year of experience in performance testing and engineering. During this 15 years, I worked on various tools, if we talk about load runner, JMeter, Neoload, Locust, K6, GetLink, right? So I got an opportunity to work on different tools during this time frame. I got an opportunity to play a different role, like a team member, team lead, on-site coordinator, offshore leader, right? So I got an opportunity to work a different role at the corporate level. Along with it, like I have an experience of training around 500 plus students which I trained so far, including in the corporate. These trainings are with the, on the corporate basis as well. Along with it, I got an opportunity to train the people, the batches like you. I got an opportunity to train within my organization, also individual level as well. So, I got an opportunity to train people from a different level. A lot of people are knowing this performance testing, you know, tending to zero when they start, but when they end, they got a good knowledge of a performance system, right? So that's all about me, a kind of a quick brief. Definitely, when we talk more, we will move forward. We will talk know more each other, right? So I will keep on telling you about myself, my experience, the things that I learned so far in these 15 years, and and keep on learning, right? We all know that this industry in these 15 years, I saw a lot of things got changed, right? When I started my career, JMeter was around, I believe, the JMeter was not the primary tool for the market on that moment, but it shifted like anything. Like when we have these JMeter as an open source, performance engineering, performance testing keep on increasing. We will talk about it. We will try to connect as much as with a real-time experience. And you will understand it with your day-to-day life, like why exactly this performance testing and engineering are important for a IT industry, for an any application in these days, or in fact, it is coming from last few years as well, right? Okay, so that's what about myself, and I will definitely talk about what are the content that we are going to cover during this particular, during this particular training session. What are the things that we are going to cover, and definitely we will talk about the a basic, a starting point of a performance testing, how exactly it is, why it is important, right? So let me start with let me share my screen. Let me know once it is visible so that I can share you what exactly we are planning to cover in this one, in this training session, right? Okay. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible. If not, please let me know. Perfect. So I will take this as
Yes, it
a,
is.
it is visible. Perfect. For any training session, right? In fact, I also enroll into multiple training session. It's better to, you know, yeah, any question? Perfect. Stop me in between because my screen is shared. I'm focusing on that particular document. If you think anything, you need any kind of an open, if you have any kind of an open question, feel free to stop me. I will try to answer it, right? But for any training session, I believe like you must be heard with a n number of people. It should be interactive. If you are not, you know, hearing it out, just hearing it out, probably it's going to be a kind of a college theoretical class or something like this. But when you try to understand about this performance testing, right, you will get your interest alive and you will think about how exactly I'm going to imply in my, next project, next application. In fact, if the people who are not even working, right, they can think about to automate their lifestyles, right? Sometimes you have to do a lot of things. So you can correlate, you can create some automatic scripts with the help of learning that we are going to provide, right? So if I talk about what are the things that we are going to cover, right? We are covering for the people who knows about the performance testing. So they will learn about the JMeter, advanced level of JMeter, and definitely how you are going to include AI into your performance testing and engineering, right? But for the people who don't know about anything, right? So we are going to cover it from the scratch as well, where they will learn about the JMeter, performance testing, the concepts of HTTP, right? This is something in the heart of performance testing. If you know about the HTTP concepts, you will win the race, right? You will understand why exactly we are doing it, how exactly this HTTP works. So when we talk about more, definitely we will touch base on these things, but we are going to cover every individual who knows it, definitely you are going to learn something new with my experience, performance testing, engineering, any APM tools. And for an individual who don't know about it, you are going to learn something good for the upcoming industry, right? This performance testing and engineering, right? So any QA engineer, any new person who knows about performance testing or not, they can attend the session, right? We are mentioning if the person knows about the web application, understanding HTTP concept, definitely they are good. Otherwise, we are going to touch base those things as well, right? So we have divided into multiple modules for this course. The module one will be JMeter Foundation and Environmental Setup. What exactly the JMeter is, how you are going to set up all those stuff, right? What are the different menu bars? You need to be familiar with the JMeter. If you are not, because you need to be familiar with JMeter. So we are going to spend some amount of time, like around we have planned for 4 hours of time, 4 sessions, or JMeter foundations and environmental setup. Because this is something that people need to understand. People think about it. JMeter is something you need to install it. Probably when we talk more, you will came to know no need to be install these things. It is ready to use. You can just download it and you can run it if you have the other supporting tools available into your system, right? We will tell you the different menu options available in the JMeter because they are very useful when you are going to go for a scripting purpose, right? Definitely, I will tell you about the shortcuts, right? Because some people, um, there's always a difference between a smart way of working and a hard way of working, right? So smart way of working, we will definitely let you know how exactly the quickly you can run the scripts, do some shortcuts, clean up the scripts, how exactly you can do it, right? So this is something that we are going to talk about it. If we talk about more, we are going to, as I mentioned, like as I promised, like we are going to talk about the HTTP protocol essential for performance system, right? What exactly the HTTP protocol is? HTTP consists of HTTP. I hope like if you are aware, if not, definitely we will talk about it. HTTP is a kind of a stateless protocol, right? So they don't know when when two pages are interacting with each other, they don't know what exactly my previous page was, what exactly will be my next page, right? So it's a stateless protocol. You are might be everyone is using these days e-commerce, right? Let me take an example of Amazon, right? So you are searching some product, you will get 20 product on the search page, and you're clicking on any product, it will open a new page. So these two pages are never be knowing each other with respect to HTTP. A developer, a coder need to ensure to pass those information from one page to another page. Then only they are, relating with each other. So HTTP by default is a stateless protocol. So we will definitely talk about different things in HTTP request, right? Header, request header, response header, what is cache, what is cookie, right? So how exactly a request header plays a role into it, because so far you definitely saw into your browser whenever you are going to log in or launch a Amazon site, you are by default logged in into the Amazon because they don't want their customer to lose their time to do a sign in, right? How exactly they are maintaining those sessions, right? So this is something you will came to know, or you will understand it when you understand the concept of HTTP protocol or HTTP request. There are different kind of an operations that you can see on the HTTP, right? Get call, post call, put, patch, right? There are different kind of a request that you can see on the HTTP side. But what's the difference between that, right? Probably with the name, people can say, oh, I know about the get request. I know about the post. But do you know the understanding between the post request with the put one? How exactly they are differ? Where exactly a developer or HTTP use post request? Where exactly they are using a put request, right? So this is something we are going to talk about it. Response code, right? There are response code series, 100 series, 200 series, 300, 400, 500. Most of the people don't know about it. 100 is a kind of an information. Any server, how the servers and the browser interact with it because of this HTTP code. How our JMeter tool mark any request as a pass and a fail. These are the HTTP response code, status code, which are very important for a performance tester to understand or to debug their script in case if it is getting failed, or to find out the issue when they are talking about, when they are analyzing their application, you are seeing 503 application internal server error, right? Or application not available, 404 page not found. This is something a small code that you have seen in your day-to-day life as well. Some of the application throws you 404, right? How exactly it means, right? When you are developing your scripts or you are running your test, if some of your pages started throwing 404, it might be an application issue. It might be your, application is not able to handle the load and just started throwing 404. 400 bad request, 401, right? So this is something, it's on my tips, and probably by the end of this session it will be on your tips as well, because this is very important for any individual to understand about the response code on the HTTP side, right? So these are the things that we are going to talk about in module 2. We will spend some 3 hours of time on this one. Then the important, the heart, right? Scripting, recording. You know, in a performance testing, when we talk about any client or when we talk to any person, right? Our end goal is, when we are creating a script, we need to simulate a real-time user behavior. When I say that real-time user behavior, it will be like, let's suppose you are a user, right? You are launching an application, entering your username and password, searching your product, and log out from the application. But when you are creating a script, you cannot keep it as a robot, right? Launch, log in, log out. You should give us some kind of a time to think about a person. You never do a launch, login back to back. You always need some end user, right? A real-time user always need a time to think about their username and password to enter, and they started clicking on the sign in button. So, every individual spend, probably it's in a kind of a familiar application to you. Might be you just need a 1 second time, but it's not a kind of a familiar application to you. You might need 2 to 4 seconds time to enter your username and password, right? So we need to simulate these behavior while we are creating our scripts, HTTP scripts or any kind of a protocol scripts, right? We need to simulate these behavior. Any individual, right? If you think about it, if I will start asking, any individual from this meeting, if I will start asking about 5 questions back to back, what is your name, where do you live, how exactly, what do you eat, where exactly you are, probably you know the answers of everything, but you will might be not able to answer it because I am firing this question back to back, right? Which is not going to happen in real time scenario. So this is something that you need to simulate to understand how application will get the load, how application will get the real time user behavior, so that you will, when the end of the day, when you are highlighting any kind of a problem statement to a developer, they will understand it. Okay, this is a kind of an application issue. Otherwise, you will end up with a problem statement which developer will say, this is not going to happen in a real-time scenario. You did it something a wrong testing, right? So it's very important to understand, to prepare a script, to prepare a scenario, what things need to be parameterized, what things need to be correlate, how we can record it. And while recording the things, there are multiple challenges that you will handle. What are the other ways of recording the scripts? There are a number of ways to record the scripts into JMeter, right? So we will talk about this thing, how exactly we are going to record it, by the proxy servers, by the Blaze meter extensions, Blaze, converters, har files. There are multiple tools by which you can record it. But the crux part is you need to understand it, how exactly this JMeter works. What is it? I believe some of the people who touch base in this JMeter tool, they knows, okay, we just need to change the proxy to localhost 8080, and my JMeter tool is readily available to record the traffic. But how exactly, if I will change this to localhost 8080 to 888 or 4 times 8, will it record? If yes, then why? You need to understand about it, how exactly, these things works. If you understand the concept of these things, it's a matter of time. Because, at 15 years of experience, I still believe if you get any new application, you need to focus on your basics to record the script and to prepare the scripts. I have a team members who were reporting to me when I was working for a corporate industry, right? They stuck into the scripting part, but when they come back to me, I always follow the basics. right? And I always resolve their issues. The only concept I follow was HTTP response codes, what exactly the response code I'm getting it. On the basis of that, I'm getting, let's suppose if I'm getting 403, request forbidden. I directly clicked into my mind, probably the credentials that I'm entering, username and password, it might not be the correct one who is having access of that page. 401, user unauthorized, which means you are not authorized to access that page, which means directly giving me an idea. Oh, probably the credential that I'm passing on is not the right one. That can help me to solve the problem, right? So these codes always help you to understand about the problem statement. So we will definitely talk about a lot in this scripting part so that, by the end of the session, you will be recording one of the script, and once you record one script, you will be eligible to record any script for any application. You just need to keep your thought process as same for a one script for any script. So you can, just copy paste your concepts and you are good to prepare any kind of a performance scripts, right? That's what we will talk about in the scripting mastery, right? So we have divided the scripting into two parts, one into the script recording and initial test creation. Another one is the script mastering, right? Correlation. As I mentioned, the things are uh, dynamics, right? So page HTTP protocols is a stateless protocol. How exactly they interact with it? They are interacting with some of the values. They are passing it from one page to another, probably your user ID, right? When you log in into your application says welcome XYZ. When I will log in into any application, it will say welcome Mohit, right? Hi, application will came to know this is Mohit, this is XYZ, this is ABC. Definitely you are passing something, probably your user ID, your session IDs, you are passing to maintain your login credentials. So, this is handling those dynamic values. You need to be a master of correlation and handling those dynamic values. There are n number of ways available in the JMeter, regular expression extractor, XPath, or different ways, right? You can capture it, but the basic concept will be to identify which value need to be correlate. If you are not able to identify which value need to be correlate, then you will not be able to fix those script, right? So this is something a script mastery that we required. And sometimes people don't understand it, right? How exactly which thing need to be correlate and which thing need to be parameterized, right? So these concepts are missing from a lot of people, but this is an important one. Anything, right? You entered as an end user, that will be a things that you have to parameterize it because it's an end user who entered this information, probably your login ID, your password. This is something you need to enter. So this is something you need to parameterize it. But if something need to be sent by server, which is getting passed into the subsequent HTTP request, this thing need to be correlated, right? This is don't take it, the people might be, we are talking about the course. So I'm trying to touch base few of the topic, but this is not going to, you can, I'm not going to mark it as a done unless and until any individual, unless and until we will talk into detailed one when we are going to have these sessions, right? For today's, I want to everyone to be aligned where exactly we are, what exactly you are going to learn it, what exactly we are going to touch base it. Some people might know performance testing, right? I'm giving you one my real time example. I was working for one of my client where, he said like, Mohit, my application was able to handle 100 requests at a one time. My application is able to handle 100 requests in an hour. When I did a testing within a proper way of doing it, ramp up, ramp down, steady state, when we did it this testing, they were only able to handle 20 requests per hour because what they are doing it, they are sending 100 requests, sent, done, out from the application. But when we did in a proper process way, we did it ramp up, we did a proper steady state, keep on hitting those requests for a period of an hour or whatever duration that we agreed upon. And then we came to know their application was not able to do it. Their application was not able to handle it because of certain limitation in their configuration, right? So some people knows it. These days we are moving towards fastly towards the microservices, web services, right? And every individual can create the scripts might be easily, or and with the help of AI. But when we talk about doing a performance testing and engineering, if you know the concepts, you can do it in a proper way. Otherwise, might be you are not reporting a right thing to your end customer. So, you need to be master of it. And that's what the load modeling tell you. Load modeling is nothing, right? Do you think how many requests are hitting to the Amazon server? Whether think about any HRMS system when people says like during 9:30, my people will log into the office and they will punch in. So do you think at 9:30, if it's an office of 300 people, every 300 people at a 9:30 moment will punch in? No, right? Because the people, if you talk about the real-time scenario, the people will come into the picture. They will log into the office. Some of the people are early birds. They will come to office at 9:15. Some of the people are latecomers, right? They will reach to the office at 9:45. So you will have the time span of 30 minutes to get 300 people into your office, right? But if you don't think about the real-time scenario, you will be doing a wrong testing. Might be you are keeping 300 people sharp at 9:30, which is not going to happen in real time scenario. Think about it, right? You are not going to do it. Any office will not be able to handle 300 people to log in at the sharp 9:30 moment, right? So that's what you need to understand it, how exactly I will do my load modeling. Or do you really think if Amazon say I have 10,000 customers into my application, are 10,000 customer really going to place an order in a 15-minute time span? No. Probably we as an individual, as an end user, you can think about yourself as well, right? Whenever you guys are going for an Amazon website, not every time you are going to place an order. Sometimes you are comparing your prices. Sometimes you are looking for a product is available or not. Sometimes you are looking for a shipping date. But when you are satisfied with all the parameters, then only you are going to place an order. So, some people just log in and search product and never place I'm not saying never place an order, might be not placing an order at the moment, right? They are placing an order out of 100 people, 100%, you will be surprised to know might be they having a conversion of 10 to 15% at the order place. So if you are testing an Amazon kind of an application with the 10,000 people for order placement, you are doing a wrong thing. You have 10,000 people on Amazon website, but some of the people will reach out to search product. Some of the people will be out from search. They will move to the view product. Some of the people from view product just price check they out because they are not seeing the shipping is up to their when they are expecting. Some of the people will move forward to look for an offer, whether any kind, what will be my final price. And out of those people, some of the people will place an order, right? This is how the real time scenario works. This is how what exactly you have to do a load modeling. Which particular page having a how many requests that I have to design my scenario, right? I don't know how much of you people are involved into performance testing and engineering into that level, but if not, think about that perspective. Whenever you are talking about performance testing and engineering, convert them into a real-time scenario. If you are not converting them into a real-time scenario, then you might not be doing a right testing, right? So that's what we will talk about. Then we will talk about the JMeter elements, deep dive about it, right? There are, if you, any one of you, because yesterday when I, open a poll for knowing how many people are knowing a JMeter or have used it before, I got some positive response as well. But do you know how exactly which element got triggered first? Whether it's a kind of a test plan, thread group, or sampler, controllers, or pre-processor, post-processor, listener, assertions, or you know what are the different elements and how exactly their execution mode is. Sometimes some of the values are not getting passed, probably change once in a when you are loading your test scripts. Some of the values are changing in every iteration. Because think about a scenario where the login is allowed only for once. Let's suppose if you are logging into this Teams in this particular browser, you will not be able to log in into Teams from other browser, which means a single session is allowed. In that way, in that particular scenario, every individual need to use a different credential. They cannot use a same credential. For that, you have to use the CSV dataset config. Configuration elements are there. Are you really need to use every time a CSV dataset config? No. Probably you can use a user defined variable for a URL based, right? Because sometimes we are creating a script for a one particular environment and we are just changing a URL and executing a script into another environment. In that particular scenario, you don't need to use a CSV dataset config. You have to use a user defined variable and just change it because it's a one single value that you have to change as per your environment, right? To understand those deep dive stuffs, we will talk about the JMeter elements deep dive, right? Any questions so far?
Um, I have one question. Can I ask you?
Sure. You can. You can.
Myself, Mallikarjuna, and I
Yep.
have more than 15 years experience in testing. I'm into ETL testing and BA big data and BA testing, BA report testing. So my currently in my company, the requirement is that we have to use a JMeter to do the perform testing on the BA reports, and the reports contain the some charts, some tables. Like how much time it will take to load the table, load that report based on the URL. Actually, the URL they will hit on the browser, Chrome browser. The Chrome browser they will take credentials directly when I log into my remote desktop. I will give credentials, right? Same credential that Chrome will take it and will not ask any credential. It will, URL based on the URL, it will open that report, and the report contains graphs and charts and tables and some KPI values. So I want to automate those kind of reports through the JMeter. So that's what I need. So can you explain me like how do we work? Can you have any experience on that?
Yeah, definitely. ETL is something like extraction, transformation, and loading, right? So you are extracting
No,
something, you are
yes,
making something and
not
loading,
ETL
right?
side.
Hmm.
Power BI means reports,
Power BI.
reports only. Only reports we have to validate JMeter.
No,
And the
yeah, correct.
tables
I'm coming
validation.
to that part. Yeah.
Sure.
Right. So when you talk about you are just logging into the your remote desktop or your VDI and it Chrome will definitely automatically taking your credentials, right? So there are a different way of authorization. In your scenario, it is using a AD, Active Directory Authorization, right? Wherever you are logging into with particular remote desktop. So you have an authorization manager into this JMeter. And that's important question in the right movement that you have asked, Malikarjun, because this is an important one for you. JMeter Elements Deep Dive. People will not know about it. There is an authorization manager in which you can pass on your AD credentials. You can handle those things. If it's a kind of a single sign-on, how exactly, it will redirect you into a sign-on stuffs and doing it. But once you have those sign-on done, you no need to sign on every time. That's what I was talking about, the real-time scenario. So you need to sign on only once. That will be your once only controller will come into the picture. It will sign on you. And then you keep on, downloading your reports. Sometimes reports ID will be 234. Sometimes report ID will be XYZ, whatever the reports ID will be. And you will keep on downloading your reports and you can keep on, checking these response time of those reports. But think about in your scenario, some of the reports are more complex, right? They're having a lot of information to display, and some of the reports are very light, right? They have some information to display. So when we talk about the end time scenario or real time scenario, that's what I was talking before. You need to think about it. You need to discuss with the business people. Can you help me? We need to do a brainstorming, do a requirement gathering with them. How much percentage of user will download the complex report? Because there can be a scenario where you are downloading every time a complex report and you will say it always take 20 seconds to download this complex report. But you never heard any complaint in a real production, because in real production 80% of the people are downloading only the simpler one. That might be the reason, right? So we need to do a requirement gathering. You need to divide our scenarios. Okay, 50% of the people will download the simpler reports. 25% will use a kind of a mixed reports, and remaining 25% will have a complex one. So you will have a different kind of a report URLs, which you will download it with JMeter HTTP sampler if it's in a Chrome based or browser based stuff, and you will get your processing time. So think about it when you go back to your business, provide this information. Business, this is something I got your performance metrics. I'm getting a person who is having a light reports are getting download within 5 seconds. But for a person who is having a complex reports, they are getting a 20-second response time. So if it's a kind of a business requirement, a lot of complications, a lot of calculations are going around, they will say, okay, they can put down a message for an end user. Guys, it's a complex reports can take up to 20 seconds. So end user will be aware about it. Otherwise, when we are, some of the applications are not able to, we are not able to launch it. We keep on refreshing the page, thinking, okay, something is wrong. But if you get a message, okay, this is a complex report, it will take 20 seconds, your end customer will be happy. It will stay to your application for 20 seconds. That's the benefit of performance testing. But in case if there is a kind of an improvements that can be done with a APM tool or other stuffs, server levels or any capacity breach that we are doing because of this high detailed report, you can do an optimization over there. But if no optimization, sometimes there can be a scenario where optimizations are not available, right? Because this is something that you need. You have always have to do 2 into 2, then you have to multiply this. If else XYZ conditions the developer need to do it, then might be it's in a business case where you have to do it for 20 seconds. That because what Malika Arjun says, report required, Power BI reports required a they are representing a complex information into a simpler viewer form, right? So those people uh, required some time to calculate and do a coding. Code will execute into it, and they take some time. But how your end customer will be happy? End customer will always be happy when you have those information available with you. Uh, think about yourself. Any website, if you are doing you are using Amazon, you are using Flipkart. Flipkart is taking high time to open a page. You will directly shift to Amazon and start looking for that product, right? But if Flipkart says you in a message, oh, hold on, this is something an important product that we are fetching it from a detailed sources, it will be come into your into your browser in 2 seconds or 5 seconds. It will hold your end customer, right? So whenever you are doing a performance testing, it always very crucial to understand about the requirement gathering stuff, right? So Malika Arjun, hopefully I touch base your part. You can definitely do the Power BI report fetching. When you talk about the remote desktop, which is going to use for an authentication method, it directly give an indication of AD, Active Directory authentication, or single sign-on authentication, which can be handled with an HTTP authorization manager, followed by you have to use a HTTP sampler. And definitely you are going to learn this thing into this particular training session, which will be a very helpful for you. And by the end of this training, you will be able to do this, whatever the job position or role changes that your organization is looking for it, you will be able to handle it.
Sure, thank you. And any possible to personally you can able to WhatsApp or any where I can able to communicate to or regarding any doubts on my project, like a suggestions from you.
Oh, for sure. I'm not sure if you are added to this particular group chat. If not, just ping me your number here. I will try to add you into this particular group.
Sure,
We
sure.
have a Yeah, we have a group created for this training session, and I will add you over there. You will have my number available, or you can ask directly question in the group chat, and we'll solve it. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that's
Hello.
what the importance of this. Guys,
Hello.
today I want to make it very clear for every individual, because whoever has joined, they need to understand what exactly they are going to learn from this training session. Because unless and until you understand this part, we then and only you will be able to enroll successfully. right? This is going to add a value add into your day-to-day life. This is going to value add in your role change, right? This is going to provide you value add for a person who's starting their career, for a person who is changing their career, right? Who's going to add on some of the new role into their career, right? Because these days you cannot be an individual person, right? You need to be a understand about the you must be heard about the SDET, right? Everyone is looking for an SDET. You cannot keep on saying a single tag, I'm a functional tester, right? Nobody, this AI is coming, nobody is more interested in functional testing. I'm not disrespecting anyone. I have a full respect for functional testing, but the changes, this industry is changing, right? So you need to learn about it. You need to understand the other stuffs. Every manager is looking to have if a person knows functional testing plus a performance testing, it will be a more valuable for me for an individual who knows only a functional testing, right? So this is all about these in these days the industry moving towards, right? So not wasting much time about it, let me quickly talk about the other stuff that we are going to touch about it. Regular expression extractor, everyone read the automata in their college life, right? We were creating the regular expression over there. This is the use case where you are going to use it whenever you are going to handle any kind of a dynamic values. Are you going to you can capture those value from a groovy as well. You can capture your stuffs from an regular expression extractor, right? So with the Groovy, sometimes you need to manipulate something and present into it, right? So this is something that we are going to learn into advanced level scripting, bean shell preprocessor. Sometimes you are capturing something, you have to manipulate it, and then you need to send it. So these where you require bean shell preprocessor, where you require bean shell post processor, where you have you can use a JSR2 double two three sampler, pacing, think time, right? So these are the advanced level scripting that we are going to learn about it, and definitely test execution, how exactly we can do a execution, distributed mode of testing, individual mode of testing, right? We are already preparing some tool, APTM, right? From where you can do a test execution, how you can include AI into your, you know, AI into your performance testing, web service testing, and tool integration. This integration means a APM tool, Dynatrace, App Dynamics, right? Uh, I'm not saying we are going to talk about a detailed Dynatrace or App Dynamics because it itself is a kind of a bigger topic. But how much will be relevant for you, we will touch base and cover in this particular training session, right? Dockers, Kubernetes, how exactly you are going to use this thing into GCP, right? You must be heard about all those stuff, how the clouds are important these days. What is exactly the kind of a memory leak, out of memory exception, right? So these things you must be heard about it. But how exactly it's going to be useful for you in this performance testing, we are going to touch base and talk about it, right? So in our language, we used to call it as a APM integration, application performance monitoring, and there are multiple tools. Sometimes Dynatrace, sometimes it is App Dynamics, New Relic, multiple tools, Splunk, multiple tools are available. And if not available, how exactly you can monitor? If it's in a Linux-based system, there are multiple commands, vmstat, dstats, neostats. If it's a kind of a Windows servers, perfmon counters. So n number of things that you can do it. CI/CD pipelines, right? Because these days nobody will going to leave you. Nobody wants you to do a end-to-end job, right? You need to be understand about the pipeline. The build get deployed, your API services get triggered, your results should be available. So I will tell you how these things can be done with a pipeline. And pipelines can be Azure DevOps, can be a Jenkins, can be a GitHub Actions. There are multiple pipelines are available. So we will try to touch base everything. Again, I'm not saying we are going to deep dive and telling you how exactly we are going to write those pipelines, but till the level it is required for you, we will let you know in this particular training session. Because these topic, you might be thinking, why I'm not going to do it. These topic itself is a kind of a different tool. GitHub is a kind of a bigger thing. GitHub Action, Jenkins itself is having a n number of plugins available. But I will definitely give you a path from where you can think about it, from where you can you can let's suppose if I will teach you Dynatrace. If you know about the Dynatrace, what exactly things I need to monitor over there, it's a matter of a time. App dynamics, if it's a new relic, you can do the similar stuff. This is how I also learn, right? Because I cannot be, saying like, okay, today I'm an expert of Dynatrace. Sometimes I got a tool for a project called, for a project, I got a tool Splunk. Sometimes I got App Dynamics. Sometimes I got Dynatrace. And sometimes I don't even get anything, right? But I still need to do a performance engineering. I need to highlight the problem statement and a problem area, because when you are going for a developer, you will hear out a lot of times. They will keep on asking you, your scriptings are not up to the mark. This is something is not reproducible. That's what we heard a lot, right? A tester and a coder never be a friends, right? On a lighter note, I'm saying it. Definitely they can be a friends, but because a tester objective is to find out the problem statement, and developer point is to solve those problems. Nobody wants to, nobody is happy when somebody pinpoint the problem in their code or into their application, right? But yeah, that's what we have to learn about it. We need to understand the problem areas. We should have the supporting documents with us so that, developer can understand it more thoroughly, and they can solve the problem, and developer can solve the problem more quickly, right? The more you will provide, the better it will be. You must heard about the Grafana, InfluxDB, Prometheus. There are multiple things are available. So we will talk about the web service testing and the tool integration when we talk about module 9. Last but not the least, AI powered performance testing. Guys, this is something I hope till now everybody accepted AI. If not, start doing now, because this is something you cannot keep yourself away from AI. Artificial intelligence, wherever the decisioning come into the picture, the system need to do it with their own. Whether I have to increase load, decrease load, everything that you have to do it within an artificial intelligence, right? I'm just giving you a quick one. I have created one site because this is something I need to follow this one, right? AI. This is the website from where I'm also doing all the stuff, and I'm executing the stuff, analyzing the results, monitoring. So definitely when we will definitely talk about these my experience as well. We have created some of the agent. Why agent is important, and how exactly we can involve AI into performance testing. Adaptive in load ingestion, right? Autocorrelations, script creations, RCA analysis, result analysis, from where we can, use this AI into performance testing. This is a very important one, and you cannot leave this, you know, we cannot complete this training without having an AI powered performance testing. This is a need of an hour. And this is, if anybody have not started using the AI, start using it. Otherwise, it's too late for you to react, right? And it's a need, right? That's what I can say. And we will touch base on this thing. And it's definitely going to help us. Help us. People are saying might be it's going to eat the job, but I'm saying the people who knows the AI, they can do a better performance testing in a better way, because software is always a human developed software, right? So they can provide you better results. So we are going to touch base on this one, right? So this is all about the content or the course that we are going to cover. 36 hours that we have target, but at the end of the day, 30, 36, 37 is not a number that I have to achieve. My end goal will be the people who are going to enroll to solve their problem statements, to help them into, whatever the ways I can help them. They should know by the end of the training, they understand what exactly the performance testing is, how exactly I can create a script, right? That's the important for me. Probably as Mallikarjun asked, it's not going to be stopped at a single point. After 36 hours as well, if you have any question, I will be available. This is something that I have planned for you guys so that I can achieve it on the time within 36 hours. But if it is not, if you are going beyond it and you have still open question, I'm always available to answer it, because end goal is you should know by the end of the testing, by the end of a training, you should understand how to create a script, right? How to use AI, how to use performance engineer, how to do performance engineering, how to identify the problem area, how to do a RCA, right? If any one of you have question after this 36 hours as well, I will be happy to help on that moment as well. Any questions so far on the content that we are going to cover in this performance testing? Great. I will take it as a no for now.
Hi, one
Right?
question I
Yeah.
have is, this is Nikhil.
Sure, sure. Mhm.
Earlier I worked in support role, like production support. Now I want to change to this performance testing side. What I am looking is like monitoring and support type of activities only available this performance testing. Is there any special tools I need to learn or how it is? Is there any idea or guidance you have it?
Yeah. Nikhilesh, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Okay. So, when you're talking about the performance testing, these days, the things are moving towards from performance testing to observatory engineering, performance engineering to observatory engineering or SRE, site reliability engineering. This is nothing a different thing. It's in a kind of an extension of a performance testing. When we talk about observatory engineering, the developer these days want to identify their SLOs, service level objective, because they want to spend the money. If they are getting a lot of errors into their production environment, they cannot keep on focusing on developing a new functionality. Their objective should be focusing on solving their problem, right? So when you are monitoring any production server, you don't need to do any kind of a special things. It's all about using those Dynatrace, right? Those services that you have to use, Dynatrace APIs, or whatever the services that you are monitoring. Keep on alerting those things. Dynatrace itself supporting AI. Otherwise, you can use their exposed API to create your own solution so that, whenever anything come into any situations, alarming situation come into the picture, you can highlight it beforehand, right? That's what you can do it into a production one. Site reliability engineering. You have to create this script. In production, you cannot put a load. We never do a testing unless and until it's an off business hours. You are in a production, right? Because it can impact to your end users as well. So how exactly the site reliability engineering do? Whatever the scripting that we are going to create in JMeter, similar script you will create and you will run it for a single user into a production environment and keep on monitoring your response time. Because in production environment, whatever your end user load is, it will be available because it's in a real production. On top of it, you will add a single user script into a production, which will give you an idea how my application is behaving. That's what you can cover into a site reliability engineering, SRE, right? DevOps pipelining, whenever anything's get developed, right? So this is, definitely it's going to help you a lot because you are from a production support background. You understand the servers a lot, right? Better than a person who know those, not from a production support
Like
background, because you
production
understand
support
how
means
this.
like L1 support, just monitoring and maintenance activities I did it. So
Mhm.
I have a career gap. So I'm planning to shift from my previous career to like some one of my old friends suggested it. So what I am thinking that already I have support experience. In these also there is little bit similar type of because currently suddenly I am dumping into complete this one. It takes time and also maybe I got a pay problems in interviews or something. So I first I want to just start in this new career with similar type of tools or anything is there. So I will start with that one. So it will be easy to me also understand. And also I am not much aware of coding. So I am expecting low coding or no coding for us. So that is the reason I am looking it. If it is possible, then I will start with that career and slowly I will convert into complete. So
Yes,
is
yes,
it
yes.
possible? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely it is possible because, right, when you talk about coding, these days we all knows about AI, right? Developer
Mm.
itself not doing a coding, right? Everyone is using a stuff. And where exactly the coding required into our performance testing? Sometimes you need to handle some spatial situations, right? Let's suppose if I give you a real-time example, Naukri.com, right? Where you are uploading your resume and it gives you a processing bar, 20% completed, 40% completed, 60% completed. And unless and until it's 100% completed, you cannot shift to the next page. To handle these kind of a situation, there is a asynchronous call which backend, which there's a call which hit to the backend and check the processing time. Okay, it's 60%. After 15 seconds, it will go again to the server and check how much it has been processed. It's 80%, right? To handle those situations, you also might need to write a bean shell post processor. If controller, while controller, do while controller, you have to use it. Not exactly a deep coder level knowledge that you need it, but a basic concept what we have read into our career, into our college life, will be good enough to understand it. Because if you have those AI, you can share your problem to the AI, they can directly write down the codes for you as well. And being a production support, coming to this performance testing will be a very good for you, as I can understand. I know understand like you are on a level 1 support, but when people understand about the servers, they understand about the authentications, access related stuffs, or logs checking, the issues that you have seen into your career will be able good one to understand for finding out the RCA when you are doing a performance engineering, right? It's going to give you a value add. I'm giving you my example. I started my career as a web developer trainee. I just, spent 6 months of time, then I shifted to perform 6 months or 1 year of time. I worked as a web developer trainee, and then I shifted to performance testing. But it helps me a lot when I talk about web developer, because this correlation I understand so thoroughly. Okay, being as a developer, this is something I called from a server. Oh, that's what. So this correlation helped me a lot. I took a lesser time as compared to other person because I have a background of a development for a 6 month or 1 year, right? Same goes with you. Probably a logs checking. What exactly need to check? Thread monitoring, or memory utilization checking, or whatever the things that you are doing at the level 1, right? Definitely going to help you into the performance engineering activity. Niklesh, it's a good idea to come into this performance testing and engineering field, and hopefully I will be able to help you to make your field into a better direction.
Okay.
Hi, Mohit. If Niklesh is done, I have a few questions.
Yeah,
Preeti this side.
yeah,
I have close to 7 years of experience in performance testing, but I have majorly used only load runner. JMeter, I have only a couple of years of experience with basic utility that I have done so far. But now in my project, they are expecting some integrations with Azure DevOps as well. So I have faced quite a few challenges in integrating with Azure DevOps, the JMeter tool. So will this also be covered in this session? So I need some support to how I can integrate JMeter with Azure DevOps and bring out good reports, analyzed reports in the dashboard as well. So will that be
correct.
covered?
Yeah, Preeti, definitely we are going to cover. If you heard, like I told about the CI/CD pipeline, and pipeline from a Jenkins side, pipeline from a Azure DevOps, pipeline from a GitHub Action, right? So these are, what exactly your project is looking from you is like a kind of an pipelining designing. So you can do a end-to-end testing using your Azure DevOps pipeline, right? That's what they might be looking for. So you can monitor your Azure performance insights, right? If you have your performance APM tool as a Azure only, so definitely you must be using a performance insights over there, so you can monitor your slow response times and everything. So everything that you can do it through a pipeline. Whenever someone's deployed, you just need to trigger your pipeline. Your test will be triggered. You will have your smart results over there. And if your organization already have your AI accounts enabled, we can include those AI APIs and prepare the AI smart results to them, right? So definitely this session is going to help you. But as I mentioned, as I promised you, we are going to touch base this thing. But if you talk about a detailed CI/CD pipeline, it's not going to be a detailed CI/CD pipeline training. It's a performance testing engineering which includes everything. We are going to spend uh, 2 to 3 sessions on this one to integration with the different tools where this will be covered for you.
Okay. So will you be demonstrating in that lab sessions of like couple of integrations that you have done? Or how will you drive this? Only just as a theory concepts or
No, no.
hands-on is
Theory
covered?
will be boring for every individual. In fact, I will be at your place. I will not going to be a happy customer for a theory part, right?
Mm.
Definitely, I will try to bring out as much as lab experience I can bring out to you. But there are some tools which are paid one. But I have I have a trial license or some of the tools I have the license for it. I will try to showcase you those tools. But if you talk about any other tools which I don't have a license, that might be a limitation for me as well. But wherever we can go for a 10 days, 15 days trial license, I will show you lab one only because that's what I learned and that's what I want you to learn as well. Lab will be the good one. Otherwise, everything will be on top of you. You will say, okay, you always in an imaginary world. Okay, this will happen. This will happen if I will do this and that, right? But when you will see an end result over there, you might be happy customers to see this, right? That's what I was telling you. If I will share my screen one more time, um, see, that's right. This is how exactly I was talking about the APM tool. That's what I built today. This is nothing. It's just a kind of a, repository, a pipelines only that we are playing around, Preeti. If you are, I'm playing with a GitHub one, right? You might need to play with a DevOps one, but the concept and the stuffs will be similar. You have to select your, you know, pipelines, what exactly you want to look for, select a workflow which you want to run it, execute it, analyze the results, monitor it, the different tools that I have prepared it. I will share my experience with you. But for Preeti to answer your questions, this is something that we are doing with the pipeline from for an end
Okay.
user perspective, and your team will be happier to have the result at the end place. So you can have those details things available for you.
So the integration that you are going to demo will also include some free resources, right? Free sources
Definitely.
that are available. Yeah.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay, and a couple of other questions that I have. Do you also cover this result analysis in JMeter because load runner will have more user-friendly GUI than JMeter? It is quite difficult to extract results, save them, and analyze them because the JMeter. Personally, I feel that one. So, will you be covering up those shortcuts? How we can analyze results? How we can display it and analyze it well in an appealing way.
Correct. I mean, like definitely load runner. I mean, like whatever the things that available in load runner till we all shifted from load runner to JMeter. Once upon a time, like load runner is the the king of this industry, and not every individual was able to afford it because they're having a different pricing model. It's too expensive for any individual, right? But later on, JMeter come into the picture. Think about it, like if you have used the load runner, you must have used the this particular one, what you said, the third option of a pacing.
Mhm.
Start the new iteration at the fixed interval of a time, fixed or random interval of a time, right? This option is by default not available into the JMeter, but I will teach you how to use this option into JMeter, how to analyze those results. When you have to use the summary results, when you have to use the aggregate report, view result tree, whether because load runner by default shows you a result of past transaction, but JMeter by default shows you a result of pass plus fail. If you have any kind of a request which getting timed out after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it can overall make your processing time or response time weird. So
Mhm.
this is how, we have created this as well. We are uploading any kind of you can upload any kind of a results over there or generate their dashboards. This is how exactly I prepared this. You know, like the way you said, like it's too complex for a person to have the JMeter results analyzing it. But we have prepared it. When we have prepared it, we have prepared it with the concept. what exactly things that we have to monitor it, how exactly we have to analyze any results if we have to do it, right? So I already did it and I will teach you for sure. This is something a
This
portal.
dashboard that you are displaying is the one that you have developed, is it?
Correct. And I will share you my experience and things that I'm, handling in this particular dashboard so
Okay,
that it will be
okay,
useful for you when you are analyzing it.
okay. And cloud performance testing is also included, like Docker, Kubernetes.
Yeah, I talk about it, right? Cloud, Docker,
Huh.
Kubernetes, GCP monitoring, or any other things that you are using into the clouds one, AWS one, Lambda
Hmm.
APIs, but I'm again saying like when people should not get surprised, because this is something I will talk about with respect to the performance testing that you need it. I will not teach you AWS expertise because it's itself is a bigger topic, right? But how much it
Right.
is required into your performance testing and engineering, what things that you need to monitor, that I will teach you.
Okay. So what about the monitoring tools that are covered? Like any particular, at least one tool which we are going to deep dive into, like
So far, I have
Dynatrace or
Dynatrace with me.
Splunk?
I will for
Hmm.
sure give you Dynatrace. For
Hmm.
sure, I will show you the Dynatrace one tool. Another while, I will show you the VMstat, DStats, the Linux servers without any APM tool. I will show you performance counters. These are the minimum three ones. But in case if any organization already having a New Relic or App Dynamics, I will give you, or I will, if I will teach you Dynatrace, you can directly correlate. In Dynatrace, probably you are going with the pure paths or distributed trace. In App Dynamics, you are going with a slow transaction, node services, right? So
Hmm.
might be the naming convention got changed, but you will get everything similar.
Okay. So can we also, like, can we also going to discuss about creating observability dashboards in Dynatrace, something like that, those topics?
I will give you, a high level overview about these Dynatrace, which include the dashboard creation, what exactly we need to monitor it. We need to keep a Dynatrace tag into our script. Load runner by default gives you in a jar file, which can add your Dynatrace headers into it and how it helpful for you to monitor into a Dynatrace one. So I can
Hmm.
give you those overviews as well. But for a
Okay.
detailed one, right? As I mentioned, if you then probably I'm happy to help you, but not with the whole group, right? Because it can divert from it there. But whatever first share it out in the session. Hopefully, you will not be having any open question, but in case if you have, feel free to ask. I will try to help you. Right?
Sure. So basically, I'm looking to kind of upgrade my knowledge from a
Yeah.
mid-level to a senior level. So will this session be helpful for me? Like, I
For sure,
need to
Preeti.
gain more real-time experience by knowing more problem statements. How can we approach that problem, and how can we resolve that? So I'm just traveling towards that. Will this session be helpful is what I'm thinking.
Correct,
That's why
correct.
the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's very good for you because you will be able to digest it more because you know about load runner and you might be able to ask a lot of questions which can be helpful for other person because you will always try to compare your things with a load runner. How we can handle this thing into JMeter, right? So you have a broader thought process because you know about the load runner and performance testing. So it will be a good one for you when you talk about it because yeah, people are shifting to JMeter, right, Preeti? Nobody, I mean, like definitely
Hmm.
someone banking domains or some complex domain like insurance are still using this load runner. But when we talk about the other telecom domain, e-commerce, in fact, as well, they all are shifting towards the J. In fact, already shifted. And if not, they are shifting towards it because it's an open source tool. You have those pipeline supports available. You can have your end-to-end results analysis available, like the way I have showed you, right? I have developed my own tool similar to what we have a Blaze meter, right? I have developed the same tools like this so that because JMeter by default not gives you a screen where you have multiple people can monitor it unless and until you have installed the Grafana with it, right? But I will give you an idea how can you do these things as well, right? So it will be a good one for you, Preeti.
Okay. Just wanted to know if you will be extending your support even after this course, in case if we are stuck with any issues or something, will this group be active as well?
I mean, like as a, as an individual, I can promise you, I will
Mm-hmm.
be available for you, for any one of you.
Okay.
As an individual, I can promise you, right? As an organization, definitely they are a, you know, the training centers are more authorized and controlled. They're on that group, but as an individual, I'm happier to help you, anyone who's stuck in this performance system, because something some people say, right? ज्ञान बांटने से बढ़ता है. It's a Hindi kahavat, or frame phrase, like
Mm-hmm.
you the more you share, the more you will get, right? So I'm that kind of a person, because when I started my career, JMeter was 1.5 or 1.97 something, some version was going around. Zero supports were available into this Google stuffs, right? Nowadays it's an AI. On that time we have to search for a Google links and Google support groups. So I learned from there. Nobody was there. I learned it with my scratch. So I know in and out about it. So I'm happy to help to the person who is interested into this performance testing actually.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thanks, Mohit, for your
G, I have one question regarding JMX file creation. Is here we are directly using BlazeMeter or load focus to generate a JMX file, and the
Mhm.
JMX file we are using in the JMeter, or we will manually create every request response based on the developer.
It depends. It depends. Like you want to, sometimes it's a kind of a GET request. I can create that request into 5 minutes, within 5 minutes, JMX file, right? If it's in a UI based, if you start capturing those requests manually and try to put down into a JMeter, it will take ages for you to for designing a complex scenario. In that particular case, you have to use a proxy servers, you have to use a BlazeMeter extension, you have to use a har file to prepare your script. So it depends on situation to situation. We will cover both the things, manual as well, automatic as well.
Sure.
But but manual will be useful when you are talking about the API, REST services, microservices, web services, right? That will be more useful for you.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, actually, I have 1 year experience regarding performance testing. So currently in my organization, requirement is while you're doing performance testing, they want the server CPU load uses and means how many percentage services are using if multiple users simultaneously using. That is the first requirement. And second requirement is they're manually checking in the application. Like suppose they use 100 user at a time, so they manually going into the application and they verifying in each every module that application is showing or not. So that is the two requirements. So how we can do for that requirements? That is the my question.
Yeah, I mean, like if your service is up and running, there, if you whatever the ways that you are handling manually, probably within a, connecting to the servers and doing it. Let's suppose if you are connecting from a Linux servers, the SSS samplers are available with you. You can connect into it. You can use PS minus EF grab Java. If process IDs are coming and it is as per your need, you will say, oh, my servers are up and running, right? So might be not exactly directly you have to use a HTTP sampler. You have to use a SSS sampler, right? So it depends on your condition. You will learn in this particular session for sure, but your requirement will be handled for sure. You need to understand how exactly you are doing it manually. If you are connecting to a Linux server, doing it like this, checking the PS minus EF grab Java process, if process are running, then probably you can simulate the same stuff using a SSS sampler from a JMeter. But if you are using from a browser, you have something available over there which can shows you, okay, this service is green or red, pass or fail. you might use a HTTP sampler to connect to that particular server. Right. So definitely we will talk more into this session, and then only because directly solving it now will be a kind of an script creation for you.
Yeah, yes, I got it.
Okay, guys.
Uh,
If no, yeah,
yeah, one question from my side. This is Jay Krishna. So I have nearly 8 years of experience in manual testing, and recently I got opportunity to work in performance testing. Here we are using K6 tool. So I just have 6 months hands-on experience in that. So, uh, how it will be, if I learn JMeter, how we can differentiate the work.
I mean, like, see, K6, Gatling, Scala, these languages or like these tools are, I mean, like, that's what I was telling to, when we were talking to Preeti as well. You need to understand the concept of performance testing in engineering. I have used load runner. I have used JMeter, right? These are the primary tools which major of the things are organizations are using. Recently, everyone is shifting to K6 because it's a Python based, or you have to, you can write down your piece of a code over there, but the concept need to be remain same. What is how exactly I can put a think time between two transactions? It might be a sleep over there, right? It might be a delay in some place, but if you understand the concept of think time, you can directly shift from one tool to another tool, right? A person who knows load runner concept, who knows what exactly things I need to parameterize, what exactly things I need to correlate. It's all about in load runner, you are doing a correlation. In JMeter, you have to use a regular expression extractor, right? So for you, the important one will be to understand the concept of performance testing as you are shifting from manual to performance, right? Apart from it, if you understand the JMeter concept, you have something called the benchmarking into your mind, and you can directly shift from one to another. K6 will be easier one for you. Honestly speaking, nobody is writing a K6 scripts with their own. It's all, they are using ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and everything. I'm telling you the real time scenarios. By book, everyone can say I am writing this K6 scripts, but nobody is writing it manually. They are using the prompts and then creating their K6 script these days. But if you they, I recently interact with one of the team who were getting 429 request rate limit exception because they are keep on hitting a lot through K6. When they call me to take a help for K6, when I talk to them, it's not a K6 problem. It's a their concept problem. They are not handling a load properly. Right. Okay, guys, I think we are already over time for today. 17 minutes over. But it's the first day. It's good to clarify your doubts, and we'll connect tomorrow, right? And we'll start from the performance testing concepts from tomorrow. Feel free to drop any questions into the WhatsApp group if you have still, if it's not answer yet. So feel free to drop over there. I will try to answer as soon as I will see. Okay. Thank you for your time. Have a nice rest of the day. Keep learning. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.